Javed Saab, it's a privilege and an honor to welcome you to Metaphor Lucknow Litfest for the third
Thank you.
time.
Thank you very much.
एंड बहुत हमारे लिए फ़ख्र की बात है कि आप और हमारा जो कनेक्शन है वो इतने सालों से चला आ रहा है एंड आपने इतनी बार आके यहाँ पे जो लखनऊ के लोगों को एजुकेट एंड एंटरटेन करा है उसके लिए वी आर ऑल इंडेप्टेड टू यू.
Are, please don't embarrass me. Actually, it's rather ironic that I am welcomed in or received in Lucknow. Lucknow is my city. I was in Colvin. I have spent all my childhood in Lucknow, and I have very strong and very vivid memories of my childhood and of Lucknow that I remember. So it is always a pleasure to come back.
व्हाट इज़ इट दैट सबसे पहले जब आते हैं तब आपको लखनऊ के बारे में क्या याद आता है या कौन सा इमोशन होता है वो? इज़ इट नॉस्टैल्जिया?
Yeah, obviously it's nostalgia, but good nostalgia. You see, people were kind and relaxed, and the kind of tension you see in the atmosphere nowadays, it wasn't there. Sometimes I feel I used to live in New Hyderabad civil lines,
जी.
and I feel like writing a book on that mohalla. You see, there were big bungalows, and everybody knew everybody, and then there were houses, there was road, and behind the houses there was a service road on both the sides. So, and servants' quarters used to be there, and these families used to work. I mean, the mother is working in one house, and the daughter is somewhere else, and the son is working in some other. So,
Across social
across.
strata it was
So,
connected.
so this was a kind of a information bureau. So, so everybody knew everything about everybody, and they were wonderful people. I mean, on our left there was Raja Saab Ramkot. In front of us there was a very respectable caste family. Three generations were living together in one house under one roof, and the youngest, the grandson, was my class fellow, Mohanji. And see, that was the culture. Now he was a child, but everybody in the home used to call him Mohanji, not Mohan. And then there were other friends. I still keep in touch with them, and whoever is still there. So they were wonderful people. Then there were another house. There were only two bachelor brothers who were perhaps in their late 40s or early 50s, because children cannot guess ages. So you are either a child or an adult. If you are an adult, then you are an adult. Age is no criteria then. So they were. One of them was the champion of Lucknow Gymkhana in chess, and they were very strange people. So because through the servants we came to know that Bade Singh Saab and Chote Singh Saab. Bade Singh Saab, when having bath, talks to the tap. So on. So we had, they were typical people. Then there were two Christian families who used to speak impeccable Urdu because they were living in Lucknow since generations. So on Christmas we used to have superb cakes there, and in Holi, Diwali we used to play Holi, and Diwali even in our house there used to be lamps and all. So it was Janmashtami was a big festival for us, and my aunt, who died a couple of years back, she was almost 93. In our childhood she used to make a jhanki for us during Janmashtami. So this is the culture we have seen, and we have been brought up in that culture. I don't know whether it is still New Hyderabad or not, but it was precious. And sometimes I feel like writing a book about these families which were there. Then there was Dr. Wahid Mirza family. They had a very big house, and they had in their house they had a big aquarium with beautiful fish and so on. And the whole family was of painters. Every member of the family could paint.
Wow.
And the whole family had one common takiya kalam. Kya kehte hain ke. So they would start any sentence with kya kehte hain ke, and then they would speak. But they were very aristocratic people. There was separate study, drawing room, dining room. In the dining room there was a gong. So the cook, when the food was served, used to
Hit the gong
bang the
and
gong,
let
so
everyone know.
everybody knows the lunch is served. So this is all I have seen in my childhood, and it has very deep impression on me.
एंड आपने खाने की बात करी अभी, तो आपके कोई ऐसे उस टाइम पे वर यू पार्शियल टू समथिंग लखनवी जो कुकिंग होती है उसमें आपके लिए व्हाट इज़ इट दैट यू मिस द मोस्ट?
Well, I think the kind of aloo gosht is made in Lucknow, that is possible only in Lucknow, I feel. Nowhere else that kind of aloo gosht. That salan becomes thick. Here the chorba, the curry is so thin and so light. It doesn't happen anywhere else. I don't know why. Maybe it's whether the cook or the water. Who is the culprit? I don't know.
It's both.
Yeah.
It's the city. And जावेद साहब, so जब आप फिर बॉम्बे पहुँचे, was it a culture shock to you or did you expect something like it?
No, I mean, I didn't go to Bombay directly from here. From Lucknow, I went to Aligarh. I've never studied in Aligarh University. I was in the school. There is a very big, huge school, Minto Circle. It has a castle-like building. So I did my metric from there, and then I went to Bhopal, did my graduation from Bhopal. Now, Bhopal is another culture, another tradition. And from there, I went to Bombay. So, I'm so happy that my early childhood was, or youth was equally divided in these three cities, Lucknow, Aligarh and Bhopal, because from each city I have learned a lot and I retain it. And then I went to Bombay. Bombay is also, it's an ocean of people, huge ocean. And generally people feel that it is the commercial capital of India, so people are ruthless and people have no care. It's not true. Yes, people are ambitious, they value time, if there is an appointment, they will come on time and so on, which is rather rare in other cities of India even today. But there is a lot of compassion at the same time, because when I went to Bombay, I had nothing. I just had nothing. I had 27 NP in my pocket, and there was this city. So for at least first 5 years, somehow the city looked after me.
That is so
Some
sweet.
people, some good people helped me at different points of time. So I think Mumbai is a huge city with great ambitions and a very large heart.
Talking about filmmaking, agar like somebody my age who wants to shift to Bombay and make a space for themselves, you know, a name for themselves, a place where they can be creative without being told what to do.
No, whatever you want to do, I think you should be prepared for it well. Nowadays, you know, we are in a hurry. So our intake is very little and then we want to give the output. But I think reading, fiction, watching good films, that is the training ultimately. But if you have done it or if somebody has done it, then when you come to Mumbai, you see there is a difference between free market like film industry or say any other market and regular jobs. You know, if you want to become a doctor, you have to prepare and get selected by some medical college, and then for 5 years you do MBBS, and then you want to specialize and you do MD, and then you become a doctor of a particular genre. If you want to become an engineer, there is a definite process. If you want to become a chartered accountant or architect, there are definite processes, exams and so on and so forth, and courses.
Very structured.
But yes, they are structured. But if you want to become a film writer, if you want to become a director, there is no definite process. I tell people that take the big rivers of the world. It is Amazon or Nile or Ganga or Dharmputra or Volga or Nile. They are big rivers, and each one of them reaches the ocean. But if you look at their trajectory, all of them have different trajectories, because all of them go through different topography, different spaces, and that is why it is different. But ultimately they reach the ocean. Ultimately the result is the same. How they reach there? Some of them cross the desert, some of them go through the mountains, some of them go through the jungles and so on. But there is only one thing common in them. Their trajectories, their paths, their ways are different. One thing is common, that their water has the power.
To get through.
They have the thrust. And this thrust ultimately takes them through the most difficult situations and topography. So you will find your own way. Everybody finds his own way to achieve or reach the goal in such professions. But if your desire is strong, if your passion is strong, and if you have the caliber and talent, it's not only passion, it's not only caliber. You have to have both. So I don't see any reason. I mean, I am in film industry since almost half a century. Anybody who had a reasonable talent and perseverance makes a place for himself. If he doesn't, it means he has some serious attitude problem. It is possible that you are talented and you have zeal, but you have certain complexes which dominate your talent. Then things can go wrong. But if you are a normal person, objective, expedient, and then you have talent and passion, I don't think you will fail.
Thank you so much, Javed Saab. That has been a wonderful discussion. And I'm surely going to take these words home and think over them over the next month, over the next year, actually. And maybe when I'm old, still I'll be thinking about this conversation.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. My pleasure.
A pleasure to host you at the
Thank you.
Litfest.
Thank you.